Okay, I want you to imagine something for a second. Imagine a universe that isn't just cold, empty space, but one that's threaded with these incredible channels of pure divine light. A whole creation built not on some random accident, but on a very precise spiritual architecture. Picture this light flowing from an infinite source, just cascading down through all these different levels, each one a dimension of reality, until it finally crystallizes into the world that you and I see. Now, this isn't science fiction. This is the hidden landscape of existence that the mystics talk about. And the key to unlocking it all? Well, it's hidden inside a single, very simple verse.
So we're going to start with something that feels really familiar, a verse we can all kind of get our heads around. A good man is gracious and lends. Now, on the surface, it's a beautiful idea, right? It's about charity, it's about kindness. It's the simple, human-level truth, what the sages call the pshat, the plain meaning. But our source for this deep dive, the Zohar, teaches us that under every simple truth, there are these deeper, hidden layers of reality. There are hints, there are allegories, and then, right at the very core, there's a secret, a sod, a hidden blueprint for the entire cosmos. And we're going to peel back those layers together.
So, what if this verse isn't just some nice moral advice? What if it's actually a schematic, a technical manual that describes the very mechanics of how the universe is not just created, but how it's actively sustained, moment to moment to moment? This right here, this is the pivot point. We're leaving that surface level behind, and we're going deep into the secret heart of the text to explore how a simple act of lending could be the very engine of all creation.
To really grasp this, we need a whole new framework. So let's think about it not as some abstract theology, but more like cosmic engineering. Imagine the universe runs on a divine power grid. You've got this infinite central power source, right? Then there's this vast, super intricate distribution network. And at the very end of the line, there's our world receiving that energy. And the continuous flow of this divine energy, well, that's what we call life, existence, reality itself.
Now, the core components of this cosmic power grid are called the Sefirot. And these aren't just abstract ideas. Think of them as the 10 fundamental channels or emanations that literally form the structure of creation. They're like a series of divine transformers and lenses. See, the infinite, limitless energy of the Creator is just way too pure, way too intense for our reality. So it has to flow through these 10 stages, and each one shapes it, defines it, and kind of steps down the energy until it can manifest as our physical world. They are the very wiring of existence.
Okay, so what's really fascinating here is how our verse maps perfectly onto this cosmic system. First, you've got the source. The Zohar says the gracious one, the ultimate giver, is the Sefirot of Chesed, this idea of unbounded kindness. Its mystical color is pure white, representing this limitless, divine light, a constant will to give. But a flow that powerful needs structure, otherwise it would just overwhelm everything. So it's got to be balanced by its opposite, Gevurah, or din, which is all about discipline and judgment, and its color is red. It's the interplay between this white light of giving and the red structure of restraint that allows a stable universe to even exist. But how does that balanced energy get to us? Well, it needs the channel, the one who lends, and that corresponds to the Sefirot of Yasad, which means foundation. And finally, step 3, you have the receiver. That's us, our world, the realm of Malchut, or kingdom.
So here's the absolute crucial point. When the verse says, a good man, it's not just talking about a person with good character. Nope. In the language of this cosmic engineering, a good man, a tzaddik, a righteous person, is the technical name for the component that works as the perfect channel. They are the living embodiment of Yesod, that foundation that harmonizes the white light of Chesed and the red restraint of Din, allowing that perfect life-giving flow to come right into our world.
And this brings us right to the main character of our story, Noah. The Zohar points to him as the absolute archetypal example of this principle. He wasn't just the guy who built an ark. On a cosmic level, he was the channel for his entire generation, the tzaddik who kept the whole world plugged into its divine power source.
So what actually makes a soul a perfect channel? Well, a mystical text called the Midrash Hanelam gives us this really stark contrast. The wicked, the Rasha, they operate from what it calls a nefesh chaya, which literally means an animal soul. It's a consciousness that's just driven by raw impulse, by self-interest, by this fundamental disconnect from the divine source. Their channel is basically clogged, it's corrupted. But the righteous, the tzaddik, they're totally different. Their entire being is a zera emet, a seed of truth. Every single action, every thought is perfectly aligned with the divine will, and that makes them a pure, totally frictionless conduit for that spiritual energy to just flow right through.
And this just nails the whole concept. The Zohar makes the connection explicit. V'tzadik yesod olam, and a tzaddik is the foundation of the world. See?
The righteous person is the Sefirot of Yesod. They aren't just like the foundation. They are the pillar that the whole world stands on, the conduit that keeps it from collapsing, the channel that makes sure that life-giving divine energy keeps flowing. For his entire generation, that was Noah.
You know, the Hebrew word for lens is malveh. In this cosmic system, that means something so much more profound than just lending some cash. Noah, as the tzaddik, isn't just loaning out physical stuff. He is lending spiritual bandwidth. He is literally provisioning the world with the divine energy it needs to survive and to thrive. You can almost picture him just radiating this generous, life-giving essence, this constant, stable flow of luminous harmony, holding up a world that was right on the very brink of chaos.
Okay, so we have the power source, Chesed. We have the channel, the tzaddik, who is Yesod. And we have the receiver, our world, Malkut. So what does this system look like when it's operating at peak performance? I mean, in a state of absolute perfection? Well, that state has a name, Shabbat. And the number 7 is the key. In Jewish mysticism, 7 represents completion within the natural world. Think about it. You've got the 6 directions of physical space, up, down, north, south, east, west, and then you have the 7th point, the center, that harmonizes and holds them all together. For 6 days, creative energy flows into the world, building and differentiating. But on the 7th day, on Shabbat, that flow doesn't stop, it perfects. It's the moment when the entire system, from the highest spiritual source all the way down to the most physical thing, achieves this state of perfect, balanced unity.
So how do we experience this perfection? The mystics tell us that on Shabbat, every person receives a nefesh yetira, an additional soul. Now, this isn't literally a new soul. It's the user experience of this perfected cosmic state. It's a heightened spiritual capacity, an ability to directly perceive and feel the abundance of that divine flow. You can imagine, as Shabbat descends, it's like a glowing queen arriving, and this feeling of peaceful, luminous abundance just fills all of creation. That feeling is the nefesh yetira.
So to bring it back to our cosmic engineering analogy, on Shabbat, the entire system achieves a state of lossless transmission. The channel, Yesod, is perfectly aligned and just wide open. The flow of goodness from the source, that white light of Chesed, is totally unimpeded yet perfectly structured. And the receiver, Malchut, our world, is fully elevated, fully integrated with the source. The connection is total. This is the ultimate state of harmony that the whole system was designed for.
Okay, so we've built the system. We've seen it in its perfected state. But this raises a really big question. What is the ultimate purpose of this whole cosmic process? What does it actually produce? This is where the Zohar delivers its most stunning, incredible revelation.
The biblical portion starts off, Ele toldat Noach. These are the generations of Noah. Now, the simple answer, the one we all know, is his 3 sons. But the Zohar is asking us to look deeper. In a system this profound, what are the true offspring? What is the ultimate generative product of a man like Noah? And the Zohar is very clear. While his sons are, of course, his physical descendants, they are not the toldot, the spiritual generations that the verse is secretly talking about. The real output of this whole system is something far more ethereal, something way more consequential.
See, the output is a direct result of his function as a perfect channel. It's the generative product of the perfected system. For our younger listeners, or hey, anyone who's a gamer, think of it like this. Noah is a super high-level character in a cosmic creation game. And by perfectly fulfilling his mission, by being a perfect channel for goodness, he doesn't just get a high score or save the world. His righteous actions actually generate a whole new kind of in-game resource, new, holy soul helpers that can then be deployed into the world to elevate it even more.
And here it is, the final reveal. The true offspring, the secret toldot of Noah, are holy souls, the Nishmat HaTzadikim, the very souls of future righteous people. The Zohar explains that when this cosmic system operates perfectly, when divine energy flows flawlessly through a worthy channel like Noah, the system doesn't just sustain the world, it generates new vessels for holiness. It creates new souls. You can just visualize them shimmering into existence, like new stars being born from the perfection of this divine flow. So, what does this incredible cosmic blueprint mean for us right here, right now? Because this isn't just some ancient, abstract story. The Zohar is handing us a living model, a schematic for how our own lives can actually participate in this divine generative process.
The takeaways here are just profound. First, that our actions matter on a cosmic scale. Every seemingly small good deed isn't just a good deed. It's an act of cosmic engineering that opens up a channel for divine energy into this world. Second, righteousness isn't about just not doing bad things. It is an active, generative process of lending spiritual energy to creation itself. Third, Shabbat isn't just a day off. It is our weekly appointment to plug into the system when it's at peak performance, to consciously experience that perfected connection and receive that additional soul. And finally, the ultimate purpose of our lives, our true offspring, is to be part of this grand project, to contribute to the creation of more light, more holiness, and more goodness in the universe.
So this leaves all of us with a final, really personal question. If you think of yourself not just as a person, but as a potential conduit in this great cosmic system, how can you become a better channel for goodness in your world this week? What act of lending, not of money, but of grace, of truth, of spiritual energy, can you perform to bring a little more light into the world?
Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week.
If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.